The utilization of public speaking must be an effective tool in changing the world, as it spread revolutionary ideas like wildfire. It is with this opening I want to welcome you all to the first edition of Quest, the Anti Glossopohbia TV series, reaching here live on Multimedia Plus online television and of course, the Anti Glossophobia Academy Facebook page. I am your host, Augustine Martinez. It is truism that 75% of the world's population today do struggles with the fear of public speaking, which is otherwise known as glossophobia. Glossophobia has been a fiasco in many facets of society, as people are afraid to speak in public or situation, even if planned or spontaneous. Quest, the Anti Glossopohbia TV series, is geared towards creating opportunities for glossophobics, as in promoting constructive dialogue, in enhancing speeches to be said, and of course, changing narratives and rewriting stereotypes. As I take you through this beautiful and amazing voyage of public speaking, I want you all to stay calm, relax, and enjoy the teachings of public speaking. What is public speaking? Where was it developed, or where was it started, to be very much specific? Public speaking, also called oratory or oration, is said to be the act of performing a speech to a live audience in a structured manner in order to inform, entertain, and of course to persuade. Also, public speaking is commonly understood to be the face-to-face speaking of an individual to a group of listeners. Also, public speaking is as well known to be the making of your ideas public to the audience or sharing your ideas to the public as well as influencing them. And finally, public speaking is also said to be nothing more than having a conversation from your heart about something you're authentically passionate about. This is what I call public speaking. There are 5 elements of public speaking. To be very much specific, we have the communicator, who is the source of the message. We have the message itself, the concept or information being conveyed, and of course we have the medium, the actual delivery method, and of course we have the audience, a group of people within hearing, and finally we have effect, the result or outcome of a cause. Historically speaking, public speaking is as old as the history of humanity. As over the course of humanity, people have utilized public speaking in delivering messages. Kings had reason to address their matters from time to time. Generals often utilize public speaking to inspire and prepare soldiers for battles. Toasts had always been given at marriage ceremonies, events, and other social gatherings. All of these have been possible because of public speaking. Diverse roles have been played by different countries, people, and that of technologies in the history of public speaking. Ancient Greek and the history of public speaking. It was a way of life for young Athenian men to make speeches as citizens. They were required to make speeches as part of their civic duty, which includes speaking in legislative assemblies and that of courts, as there were no lawyers for Athenian men. Rome's role in the history of public speaking. After the fall of Greece, Rome came into the scene as a military and political world power. The Romans never disregarded public speaking culture left by Greek. They rather adopted to it, and of course they modified it well, and later it became part of the culture. Modern day development of public speaking. To be very much specific, the modern day role in the history of public speaking. The history of human race is filled with great speakers who had great or tremendous impact on public speaking. The likes of the Abraham Lincoln, the Malcolm X, the Nelson Mandela, the John F. Kennedy, and the rest of it all. And of course, that of Martin Luther King, to be very much specific. In 1775, Patrick Henry gave a famous speech, Liberty or That. Speech, to be very much specific. His famous phrase was, "Give me freedom or give me that." Had great impact as proclaimed the cause of freedom. The role of technology in the history of public speaking. The advancement of technology had great impact on public speaking, as the 21st century has given sophisticated media sources like internet and that of telecommunication. These had changed the face of public speaking and as well continue to transform the art of public speaking through newly available technologies such as the video conferencing, the multimedia presentation, and of course the non-traditional form of public speaking, to be precise, where we have the WhatsApp video conferencing, we have the Zoom, and the rest of it all. All of these has given a different face to public speaking. Research have really proven that public speaking was developed in Rome and that of Greece. Prominent speakers from this land influenced and developed the evolutionary history of public speaking. History as well has justified that Aristotle is said to be the father of public speaking, as he discovered that in order to rally citizens into conformity, one needed to persuade people. This is what he called rhetoric, the utilization of language for persuasion. And he actually broke them down into 3 key strategies. The very first step is the ethos, which has to do with your credibility and that of your character. The second one has to do with pathos, which has to do with your emotional bond with your listeners. And the last one has to do with your logic, which is logos, to be very more specific, which has to do with your logical and rational argument. In diluting on this one, ethos is used when the source is credible and the speaker can show authority, competency, and that of expertise over the matter. Logos is used when there are facts to support the argument, requiring that the audience use logic and deduction to decide the strength of the speaker's argument. And the very last one, which has to do with pathos. Pathos is used when emotional appeals to gain audience acceptance. Ladies and gentlemen, public speaking, as I told you earlier on, has been a fiasco in many facets of society. But if you want to become a very good speaker or a better speaker, you need to be practicing more often and rehearse, as there is no monopoly over knowledge, to be very much specific. And there's something I must assure you about, which is public speaking is the #1 money-making skill in this world. To draw down the content of today's edition, I must remind you all that our Facebook page is the Anti Glossopohbia Academy, and of course, do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Multimedia Plus Online Television. Thank you so much. I am your host, Augustine Martin Martinez.